Let's get on with it. Time to do some Forex.Today. Anyways, welcome. Sorry for tardiness. Hey, life's complicated sometimes, huh? So welcome Forex.Today. Let me remind you. Well, hang on. Let me shut this. Sorry. Let me remind you that trading's risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. But please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, never risk money cannot afford to lose. Hey, how you doing? My name is Wayne. Nice to meet you. The microphone's in front of my right hand, but I guess I could. Nice to meet you. My name is Wayne. Nice to meet you. So, hey, I'm a currency trader. Before that, I was a venture capitalist. Before that, I was a high-tech entrepreneur. Before that, I worked at tiny little startups in the Silicon Valley called Apple Computers, Cisco Systems. And before that, I worked at NASA. And before that, I had a paper route. So anyways, I bring all that good, bad, and ugly with me to the currency markets. Really, because all of that you have in your psyche, and inevitably, it influences what you see when you look at a chart. And my buddy Ryan and I were talking about that yesterday. I said, it's kind of interesting what is on our charts. Whether he's looking at his charts or I'm looking at my charts, you're looking at your charts. It's interesting that all the charts are the same. I mean, look, the price and the time are the same, right? So what indicators you use is one thing. But inevitably, everybody sees what they see. Even though the information is the same, we all interpret the information differently. And that comes from our life experience, isn't it? And our personality, could be made up of our chemistry, So it's kind of interesting. Think about the market, like what a market is. Thousands and thousands of traders, where every time you buy, someone else is selling. Well, why? They see it differently. The same information interpreted completely different. And so I think that's kind of interesting. So to understand that we all see something different, it's important to know who you are, how you see things, and therefore influence sort of your vision for what you want to accomplish. You're like, what the hell does that mean, Wayne? Well, are you a bull or a bear? What do you want to do? Are you a bull or a bear or not? Yeah, Highlander, see, in Canada, we fold the newspapers. I don't know, you're in Detroit, I think, right? I don't know if they do Canadian-style folding of newspapers. But in California and in Georgia, they just throw it out the side of a car. And adults are the ones that deliver the newspaper. I'm like, really? What happened to it? I was like 11, and I delivered the newspaper through the snow. Delivered before 7 a.m. Anyways. Our baggage shapes the way that we see things, and therefore you have to know your strengths and weaknesses in your ability to interpret reality. And then from there, have the skills to be able to carry out some sort of strategy. And you're like, Wayne, what strategy? I don't have a strategy, Wayne. Well, okay, let's get there. So anyways, let me know how I can help technically, fundamentally, psychologically, whatever. Just let me know, right? Let me know. I will do my best to help. Today, I recommend we'll go through gold, oil, Bitcoin. Look, if you want to do silver, we can do silver. I think we could look at the stock markets. We can do the S&P500. We could do DAX. We could do FTSE. We could do Nikkei. We can do Aussie. We could, and whatever, man. Just ask. Dollar pairs, yen pairs, cross pairs. What's on your mind, son? Be a simple kind of trader. So, I've been doing this, 20 years? There's a lot of resources I've created over the 20 years because you have to imagine I've met with tens of thousands, if not more, foreign exchange traders and they're like, hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Can you make this? Can you make that? Can you do this? Can you do that? Well, the answer over the last 20 years is yeah, I can. And so after 20 years, there's lots of resources available for your help. You just have to reach out and grab them. So in the description below, there's a link to my book, Strategic and Tactical Forex Trading. Yeah, strategy and tactics aligned. Yep. Now, I think what you'll find in that book, the probably, my guess is the biggest eye-opener of the book is that I say that most Forex traders don't keep a journal. And the few that actually keep a trade journal don't do it and use it correctly. And so probably 1/3 of the book is how to get 4x the experience, meaning how do you get 4 times the experience in 1 year? How do you get 4 years worth of experience in 1 year? Well, I'll teach you how to do it right. And the thing is, you develop positive trading habits. It's about becoming habitually successful. So anyways, check that out. If you join my community, FX Bootcamp, it's $88 a year. You'll get about 88 hours of education. Holy schnicker-schnocker. It will help. You can also upgrade to one of the live groups. We have a swing trading group. We have a day trading group. Day traders get the day trading group and the swing trading group. So they get to double dip. It's amazing. FX Bootcamp makes me happy. Interacting with everybody is amazing. And I think you'll find it educational, but it'll also bring stability and happiness to your trading and maybe to your life. So honestly, check it out. And then there's a link to an ECN, straight through processing broker called tradersway.com. If you like the idea that you click a button and it goes straight into a pool of liquidity partners that matches you to a counterparty, and it does it instantly, does it quickly. See, in ECN, you pay a commission. STP, you pay a spread. Either way, the outcome is the same. There's no middleman. If you like that idea, I like tradersway.com. They earned my loyalty and respect with their behavior. I didn't see a little ad somewhere. I didn't click on something and get taken to something. They didn't, their behavior earned my respect. They also pay good swaps, right? Your broker probably doesn't even pay you a swap. They charge you a swap, right? Traders Way pays you a swap. Their spreads are narrow. Their swaps are huge. Their speed is fast. It's a boutique broker. They don't have 250,000 traders on one broker, right, or on one server. Like many of you, the big names, they'll have hundreds of thousands of traders on one server. Good luck. You know how slow that is? And just look, you can get third-party analysis. I've seen third-party analysis that ranks the execution speed. Traders Way is very fast, and some of the big brokers are very slow, and that translates into things like slippage and all kinds of stuff. So whatever. Look, don't take my word for it. Open up a demo account with Traders Way and see if they can earn your loyalty and respect. I think they will, honestly. So go get it. Go get her done. Go get her done. Why wait? Do you remember the end of When Harry Met Sally? When you realize you want to be a successful Forex trader, you want to be a successful Forex trader as soon as possible. I'm pretty sure that's what they say at the end of When Harry Met Sally. All right, so let's see what you're on. Cool. Oh, by the way, I got accepted at Yale for a master's degree. I'm not going to go, but wouldn't that be interesting? A master's degree from Harvard and a master's degree from Yale. I don't think I'd ever get a job. But interesting. It's an interesting program. 1 year, you can go to Yale. If you're accepted, you can go to Yale. You live on campus in the dorms for a full year. and you knock out a master's degree, which is typically 2 years, you knock it out in 1 year, so it's a heavy workload. And you come out with the master's degree in asset management. And it's $108,000. Cool. New Haven is a dump, though. Cool. So anyways, yeah, I ain't going. I ain't going to Yale. But I could. 5 years of Harvard is enough. Plus, can you imagine if I said to because I spent every summer living in Cambridge. You imagine if I'm going to go to New Haven for a year and do a Yale program. I'd never be allowed back in the house, huh? So anyways, cool beans. All right, so what's going on? David said, hey, a friend passed his CFA level 1. Okay. Yeah, David's thinking about going for it too. Did he say anything about the difficulty of that, David? Did he's like, oh, it's not that one's not that hard, is level 1? See, David, if you were thinking about getting a job, just completing level 1 is enough. See, you can't claim you have an MBA if you take, 3 classes in an MBA program and never finish it. Okay. But CFA, if you do level 1 CFA, yeah, it's pretty cool because that's enough. You'd be shocked. Almost every job says something like, something about the CFA. And they count it the CFA or MBA preferred. But you could even say, well, I'm at level 1 CFA. I started the program. Good enough. Okay? Truly, it's good enough. They'll say, oh, you didn't finish it? Oh, that's all right. You're on the right track. Boom. David said he was tripped up by the wording. Well, then he didn't practice enough. That's a test-taking failure, which means he didn't practice enough. Okay, that's very common for someone that hasn't been in school for a long time, right? So the practice tests and classes, I don't know if he took a class as well or if he just trained on his own. But you should be so seasoned by the time you take the test, you practically know the questions. But anyways. Okay. All right, so let's go through the world as we see it. This is all daily. Okay, USD still fairly weak. Yeah, you think but that just tells you he knocked it out, but he didn't, right? He didn't practice enough. Okay. Now, if I had worked for a big bank, I'm pretty sure I could say, hey, I got accepted to Yale for a master's in asset management. Can you pay for it? And can I have a year off? And they probably would have said yes. Because a friend of mine, he's a banker. Now, he's changed banks about 3 times in 6 years, but he keeps getting promotions. He's a really smart, talented guy. But he's like, hey, I want to go to Harvard and get a master's degree. And they're like, okay, and we'll pay for it. And then when he was done, he went somewhere else. He was double dipping for a while. I forget what program that was. I think it was at Wharton. So he did like a mini program at Wharton. So one of the 4 years he was doing Harvard with me, one of the 4 years he was also doing a program at Wharton, University of Pennsylvania. So he was double dipping there, which was just crazy amount of work. And then when he was done with Harvard, he did a year at a program at Stanford. And it was all paid for. I'm like, wait, what? You got a Wharton certificate, a Harvard degree, and completed a program at Stanford. I'm like, holy crap. Those are, all of those programs are expensive. Holy crap. Okay. I only have Harvard, MIT, and Oxford, but his programs are like something else. So it's too bad I don't work for a big fat company that would just say, take a year off, we'll pay your salary. Honestly, I hope it would. It could be. I'd rather be a professor. You get the same thing, but it's different. Anyways, so Aussie trying to recover here. Euro's still moving sideways. CAD's still quite weak. Yeah, we got a little blip in the matrix, but would you say that's a radical change in trend? No, but it'll set up the next trade. Pound still basically moving sideways. Kiwi still basically strong. Look, very little has changed, huh? This is why you got to look at longer term charts. Otherwise, you get caught sort of chasing everything around. Looking more specifically to today, what's going on today, there's that Aussie strength trying to emerge. Kitty Cat trying to improve. Now, remember, they raised interest rates, they meaning the Bank of Canada, but they pretty much said, put the brakes on. By the way, do you follow me on Twitter? I tweeted that the Bank of Canada sent out information that they're now sort of more data dependent and all that kind of stuff. And they even, not only will they slow down, they might pause. And, there's a big change there going on with CAD. Also, I wonder if it's time to start buying oil. Now, I still think there's a lot of demand destruction that is yet to appear. But markets are kind of a funny thing. In particular, look at this. Empty cup, empty cup, empty cup, empty cup, empty cup, empty cup, empty cup. My bottle of water is empty. Gee whiz! I might have to have a coffee break in a bit. So anyways, could be a turning point, maybe. I don't know. But commodities are a weird thing, too, where, often we're thinking 6 months ahead. So, yes, the United States is going to go into recession, but will it be shallow? Is China really reopening? Is that really what's going on? So on and so forth. So there's a lot of question marks, and oil is a little bit different than currencies. Sometimes it's exactly the same, but sometimes oil is just oil. So I want to take a kind of gander at that. We'll do a deeper dive at the swing trading group. So remember, if you're in either of the live groups at FX Bootcamp, we are all meeting together today in the swing trading room. And so I look forward to seeing you guys there. Okay. Thiago says, hey, can you explain the difference between bias and a trade plan? Yeah, sure. Okay. What's your bias on the Canadian dollar? Yes, I'll do Bitcoin. Okay, so you want to sell the Canadian dollar. If I said why, and you said the 21 is below the 55. Now, I know I'm not saying compared to what, but just go with this idea. The 21 is below the 55, therefore you want to sell. Okay. That's more of a sort of partial trade plan. You're looking at a chart and you're saying the 21 is below the 55. So a trade plan would be, therefore, sell the next 5/8 cross down off of the 21. That would be a complete plan. But the incomplete plan is you're bearish because of a technical thing that says the market is bearish. And then you say, well, when price turns bearish off of resistance, you want to sell, because a bear will always sell a lower high. So your first step of a trade plan is the market bearish? Yes. Okay. Are we at a lower high? No. Then you wait until you are at a lower high, and then you sell a 5A cross down. Done. That's not bias. You're reading a chart that says the 21 EMA is below the 55 EMA. It's not a bias. That's technical analysis. That just tells you what is. A bias is based on, I would argue, just all fundamentals. Now, you could compensate for that really and say, well, fundamentals are built into the price model, so I'm going to use daily charts to develop a bias. Well, okay, you could, but you never understand why it's happening. And that's a big missing piece. But you could compensate for the inadequacy of not understanding fundamentals by doing it that way. But a bias is based on you're a bear because the Bank of Canada is raising interest rates at a slower pace than all the other major central banks. Therefore, you're bearish. Or you're bearish on the Canadian dollar because oil is falling precipitously. Or you're a bear on the Canadian dollar because as rates go high, their real estate market is getting crushed and whatever. You're a bear on the Canadian dollar because its largest trading partner, the United States, seems to be going into a recession. And that means less trade with Canada and therefore less demand. So you're bearish. Those are bigger things. That tells me why the flow of capital is not going to Canada as much as it normally would in different market conditions. That's a bias. That says, look, the Canadian economy is slowing down, and relative to other economies is less good or more bad of a trading opportunity. Now, with that being said, because that's now your bias, now you open your chart and you develop a trade plan. And you say, okay, you're a bear. Is the 21 below the 55? See, you already know you're a bear. Now you're asking your chart, hey, is the 21 below the 55? Oh, it is. Good. Do you have permission to engage? Yes. What's the next question? Do we have a lower high at resistance? No, we don't. Okay, then we wait. And when we do test resistance and price does roll over, let's say a 5A cross or a stochastic cross, pow, execute strategy. Okay? So to me, a bias is something that doesn't exist on a chart. A trade plan is a strategic and tactical strategy. There's even an empty Starbucks cup. A strategic and tactical plan for trading, but it doesn't explain why. It just explains what. Okay? All right. I like starting with commodities. Is that okay? Let's do gold, oil. Let me ask you, of the commodities, what do you want me to cover? What's the number one thing you want me to cover in commodities? Gold, oil, silver, Bitcoin? What would you like me to cover? Natty. SPX, okay. WTI, gold. Okay. TT, once again, doesn't answer the question. TT, that's interesting. You did something like that yesterday where I asked a basic question and you give me a different answer. It's funny. I'm sure I'll cover Euro, but stick with the game, man. Right? As I said yesterday, huh? And by the way, I'm not beating you up. I'm not knocking you down. But answer the freaking question, right? All right. Yeah. Okay, great. We'll do WTI. I'm surprised nobody said silver. Okay, great. We won't do silver. I'm happy to not do silver. We went up to the first line of defense here as bears, and it held. Okay, went up to about 75, and it rolled over. And we're back at 74. I look at this now, and I exited here on Tuesday. Now we're at Thursday, and we're at the same price. So the victory here is I avoided an ulcer. Right? So we're above the hourly. If you're a bull, you have permission to engage. Do you understand that? If you're a bull here on oil, you have permission to engage to the long side. That's what this says right here. Yesterday, right? Yeah, yesterday you might have been a bear. Today you might be a bull. Look, this is why I draw these lines. Okay? If you are a bull, that's bias, right, Thiago? If you are a bull, then you start to take it north. You're like, Wayne, how do I know if I should be a bull? Stop trading. You just discovered the thing that's holding you back. You don't know if you want to buy or sell this. So why would you trade it if you don't know? It doesn't make any logical sense to me. Well, Wayne, it might go up. What the hell is that might stuff? It's ugly. Ugh, yuck. You trade stuff you don't know. You don't know if you're a bull or a bear. That's the problem. And, let's figure that out. It takes a while. Let's figure that out, but stop trading. Okay? Cool. So when we look at things technically here, okay, it seems to me somebody knows what the heck they're doing. Okay, if you recall late last week or early this week, my actual limit order was here. Do you guys remember that? Now I got out here because we hit Brent, but now we actually hit that target, that limit order. That's where my limit order originally was back on Sunday and Monday. So now that gives you permission, for example, technically you could try to roll this over if you were fundamentally bullish. Fundamentally bullish. You could give this a try. Now I think you're still buying in a downtrend, but to each his own. Okay? At some point, if you want to be a bull, okay, you're going to have to. Okay, so it's a dangerous game that you're playing, but if you were going to play that game, that is the entry. If you were going to do it. Okay, if you don't want to do that, then Can we do gold? No. Okay, let's do gold. Okay, I'm watching this. Now, do you guys remember? Don't look at the pattern here. You're going to get sidetracked. Did I do it here or was it the day trading group? Maybe it was the day trading group. Before we get caught up on this, let's do the logic. Was it yes? It might have been us. I can't remember now. We were here and I said, who buys here? Let me know who buys here at this price. Who buys there? Bulls or bears? Oh, thank you, TT, for answering the question. High five, brother. Boom. Yeah. Okay, bulls, and who else? Bears. Thank you. Okay, look, we clearly have a double top. There's definitely bears on this trade, and bears buy here. Remember, bears sell here, and bears buy here. Okay? What the other side of that is we also know a bear would never sell here. We also know a bull would never buy here. Never. So what I was saying is if you are a bear now on gold and you like the fact that it double topped, you can't really be a long-term bear yet. You're too early because the market hasn't reversed. This is, right? This is a buy zone. What many amateur traders forget is it's a buy zone for everybody. Bears that are short need to offset and take profit. Bulls need to take it as an opportunity long. So the reason I had the Fibonacci down this way is trying to anticipate if this market will reverse and become bearish, how will it do it? And it'll do it in one of these ways. Which one? I don't know. And that's all that we were discussing in that scenario. So you could use Fibonacci to do this. You could try to use price action. Okay. Usually it's the neckline, not the low, but I'll go with that. So, right, like this neckline and then up into here. So typically this is the, okay, if there are bears, this is where bears will engage. Okay? And if there are more bears than bulls, it will roll over. And that's the basis of the plan. Now we got to sit and watch. Bulls already put their money in. It's not a complicated trade. What does this chart say it will make a higher high, or does this chart say it will roll over and become bearish? What does the chart say? Don't give me your opinion. Answer the question, right, TT? Is this going to make a higher high, or is it going to make a lower high? What does the chart say? Again, do not give me your opinion. I have my own opinion. I don't need your opinion. I want to know if you can read this chart. Once again, if you're like, well, I don't know, it might do this, might do that, you don't know how to do technical analysis. It either says bullish, right? It either says higher high or not higher high. Okay? This chart says not higher high. It could, but probably not. Not higher high. What this chart says to me is probably some version of something like that. Why? The 55 EMA is in control. Okay? If it was so gosh darn bullish, okay, we would have done this by now. Okay? If it was that bullish, we should have been way up there above 18 right now. But instead, we pulled all the way back to here. Okay? Which tells me no. Okay? Now, of course, it can make a higher high. That can. And you might have an opinion. Well, gold is going to blah, blah, blah. Great. Fine. But that's not what the chart says. You have to remove your opinion. Your opinion comes from your bias. Going back to the previous conversation, the difference between bias and a trade plan. What is your bias? Okay, do not look at this chart. Is gold going to go up or down in the next 6 months? I want you to think about that. Okay, if I said don't look at your chart, but tell me about gold. If you can't talk logically about gold, you don't know what you're doing. Okay? Now, let's say you have a bias and it's bearish. What's the first thing? This is still a bullish market. But you're like, but Wayne, you just said it's probably going to make a lower high. Well, yeah, probably, but it hasn't done it yet. What, are you going to gamble? What are you, a degenerate gambler? Oh my God, your mother would be embarrassed. I used to have a son, but now I have a degenerate gambler. I mean, do not embarrass your mother. Okay? A degenerate gambler? That's what you grew up to be? How embarrassing. Okay? So, you have a logical reason. You could put together a PowerPoint slide deck about why gold is going to fall over the next 6 months. Think about that. You can't start throwing down moving averages on a slide and say, well, if you look at the moving average on the 1 hour, it tells me gold's going to fall in April. Dude, you can't do that. So think of it that way. Then what? Then you use technical analysis. And you say, well, Wayne, I want to sell this. And I'm like, oh, cool. Why do you want to sell it? And you give me all the reasons. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Right on. So now you look at your chart. What does this say? Is this a good opportunity to sell? Yes or no? Please put in your answer. And if you don't type it in, I don't understand you. Why would you attend an educational seminar or webinar or live stream and then not participate? I don't get the pacification of there's no passive education. There should be 100 answers here, right? Okay, thank you. So in that case, now you wait. You see how awesome you are as a trader? You see how awesome that is? You see how amazing that is? Where now you are in total control. You cannot control the market, but you can control the behavior. That's the difference between chaos and strategy. When I ask a question, I don't want like, well, I might do this and I might do that and blah, 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 blah. Like, dude, you're a scatterbrain if that's your response. Really, most of the time, it's a binary answer. Yes or no. Buy or sell. Okay? So you say you're fundamentally bearish. I look at this. I'm like, oh, okay, it's setting up for a reversal. Maybe it'll kick off 1800 and drop like a ton of bricks. Cool. What is your trade plan, Thiago? And Thiago might say, well, it comes up, it tests 1800, it drops, comes down to the 200, comes up, tests, tests some price up into here. Maybe it's 1750, maybe it's 1780. And then I will sell here because by then the moving averages will have rolled over, and then it's going to fall, and then it's going to come back into the moving averages, and I'm going to sell again, and then it's going to fall, it's going to come into the moving averages, and I'm going to sell again. What if it goes up? What if it does one of these things? Thank God you didn't sell. Okay. Okay. See you, JF. Okay. Now, one of the things we talked about last night in the day trading group when I talked about this setup is 100% for sure you don't sell. Nobody but a bat would sell there. Remember, I used to say you're either a bull or a bear, right? Or a pig, and pigs get slaughtered. I said something a couple of weeks ago, and it was actually pretty funny, right? You're either a bull or a bear or a bat. What's a bat? A broke-ass trader. I don't know why I said it, but it was pretty funny. If you knew the only traders trading here are buyers, then why would you sell? Oh, I hate those deformed aliens. Ooh, creepy. Okay. Seasonality is fundamental and has nothing to do with this chart. Okay. Cool. What's up, Danny boy? Yeah, boy. Okay, so anyways, you got to have clarity in your trading, and you can't have things like, well, it might go up, it might go down. I don't know if I'm a bull or a bear, blah, 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 blah. Can I look at Bitcoin? No. All right. Okay, so yeah, you could buy here. You can't buy here. And what you expect, okay, what the chart says is, something probably like that. So if you were going to buy, it's in my book, in my book, it says, you buy here, but you're conservative. Okay. You buy like here and you're aggressive. And the scenario that we're at now is that's a buy and it's conservative. What I'm also trying to teach you is nobody would sell that except a losing trader. If you sold, there, you are almost certainly going to lose money. So let's pick on that. So where is it? Okay. If you were a seller in here after the drop, it wasn't likely to work out. Okay, just not going to work out. So there's two things you could set up as you're a bear. As I already mentioned, but we'll do it again. Somewhere in here or somewhere in here. So now you get a whole sozone, as they say in Italy. Hey, Tony. Where did I sell this? Where did I sell the gold? In the Sozone, Mario. Okay. If you want to engage as a bear, that's where you engage. And you might make money. If you engage down here as a bear, you're probably going to lose money. I don't know the future any more than you do, but I do know how to trade. Can you look at Bitcoin? No. So anyways, there you go. It's up to you. It could make a higher high. You just took more risk than I'm willing to take. All right, let's do some Bitcoin. Okay, a little bit of recovery. This tells me the stock market up. And that's how I see the world right now. Okay. So let me ask you something. Should you buy Bitcoin here? Absolutely frickin' no. And I only curse as an emphasis. The only trades that are going to happen there are bulls are going to sell or bears are going to sell. Bulls are always first, then the bears. Okay. Okay, absolutely no. Take a look at a higher time frame. Okay, so where would a bull buy? Yesterday, my troubles seemed so far away. Do, 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 do. Okay. Okay, so the right price was around 1680 ish. So we'll call it central pivot because that would be part of your trade plan. Okay. So if I now drop into well, let's just mark it here. Okay. The central pivot point to here is the buy zone. So you got plan A and plan B. Once again, if you don't understand that, then you don't know how to swing trade. I recommend you join the swing trading group. It's a whopping $99 a month. You probably get 5 hours a week. That's half of minimum wage. You can't imagine how awesome that would be toward your trading. And you're like, I don't get it. Why would that be a plan A and why would that be a plan B? Oh my God. There's a giant gap in your knowledge that for half the cost of minimum wage, you could fill that with, I don't know, something that might make you profitable. Gee whiz. Okay. But anywho, let's go back into here now. Okay. So where are their buyers? Okay. As soon as you get this braiding, holding on the monthly or weekly, holding on the daily, little double bottom action. Okay. You could probably put something together in there. Or you're going to buy a dip later. Now, I still think this is bearish, but that's me. See, I sold this. Not on this account. I own crypto. I own it. Okay. I sold, and I told you I was going to do it, and I did it there. I sold it. Okay. There's no buyers. Okay. You see the sellers come in really high, went down. So you could connect these things and say, there's still resistance there. There's probably resistance here. Whoop. So there might be a better buy in the future if we're going to go all the way back up. But even if we get to something like that, we still have a lot of problems. Up here, don't you stink? Okay, so we'll go to an hour. Okay, is this bullish or bearish? Don't tell me your opinion. I'm not interested in your opinion. I have my own opinion. I don't need your opinion. You shouldn't listen to my opinion. You should do your own analysis. You should gather your own intelligence and formulate a strategy. The last thing you need is somebody's opinion, especially in a market where 95% of people are wrong. Why the hell would you listen to anybody? This is all about you, your alpha. So tell me, is this bullish or bearish? Fact. Caught you looking for the same thing. It's a new thing. Check out this Supreme. I'm living low next to the base. Turn up the radio. You're claiming I'm a criminal, but now I wonder how some people ever know the enemy could be their friend or guardian. I'm not a hooligan. I rock the party and clear all the madness. I'm not a racist. I preach to teach, because some of you never had this. All right. This is bearish. Not my opinion. On this chart, looking at this, it's bearish. 21 is below the 55. It's making lower lows and lower highs. It's bearish. Doesn't mean it won't become bullish, but it's not bullish. Never mad at the fact he's corrupt like a senator, soul in a rope, if he treated like soap in a rope, because my beats and my lines are so dope. Yeah. Gotta know this stuff, right, Roderick? My 98's are booming in my trunk with funk. All you punks can't stop my dunks. Anyways. I can't see. That's a little fat. Huh? Yeah, man. Hey, I've seen Public Enemy live. Hey, I've even seen Ice-T sing Cop Killer live. Look at this guy hanging out with Ice-T. Yeah. So anyways, Hope says, down you go. Well, I don't know if Bitcoin's going to fall. Remember, that's not what this chart is about. Yeah, honestly, I just saw Ice-T do Cop Killer live. Look what I turned into. I used to be cool. Now look at me. I look like a preacher, right? A Southern preacher, a racist Southern preacher is what I look like. I'm like, but that's not me. Oh my God. Look at me. I used to be cool. Yeah. I don't know what's going on in the mirror. So anywho, look, this chart doesn't say anything about if Bitcoin's going to go up or down. I really want you to get there. I really want you to embrace this. This chart doesn't tell you where we're going to be in 6 months. Salt and pepper, yeah. Jay-Z. No, I haven't seen Jay-Z live, but no, I respect Jay-Z though, because he's interesting because he was unique. There's so many, all artists. Seems like in all genres of music, there's like one interesting person comes out, makes a bunch of interesting music, and then everybody sounds like them for about 10 years. We need more people that sound like Jay-Z, that kind of thing. And so you go out and you find a bunch of people that just mimic Jay-Z, and then, but what's his producer's name? Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin wrote the beat, right, to 99 Problems. So Rick plays it for Jay-Z, and he's like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, give me a sec." So he said Jay-Z went into in the room, in the whatever booth, went in the booth, and there's a couch there, and he just lays there for apparently like 20 minutes. He's just laying there and he's humming to what Rick Rubin had wrote. It was just, right? And then he's like, I got it. And he's like, so he goes into the booth now to record, and he just does the whole song. The whole song. And then he says, you know what? Let's do it again. So they play it again, and he does the whole song almost literally word for word. He hasn't written anything down. Does the whole song again, almost exactly the same the first, but just emphasizing different words, different swagger, you know. And then he's like, let's do it again. Does it again. And they do it about 5 times. Remember, Jay-Z only heard it 20 minutes earlier, didn't write anything down, does the same song almost word for word every time, 5 times in a row. And on the 5th one, he's like, yeah, that's it. And he was done. I got 99 problems, but a pip ain't one. Hit me. Right? And you're just like, what? You know? So he's unique. Yeah. Okay. Usman says, Wayne, do you think Bitcoin will go below 10,000? Again, I don't think. Okay. Now, let's analyze. If you look at the economic data, you might conclude that the United States is going to go into recession next year. If that's true, then we're going to have a destruction of value of all asset classes. Real estate will come down. The stock market will come down. People will lose their jobs. People will lose their houses. And the value of your car will fall. The value of your education will fall because your new job is going to pay you less than your old job. Literally, the value of everything will be destroyed to some level. 5%, 10%, 15%, 50%. Bitcoin will probably be, its value will decline as well. So what do you, right? What is the sum of your analysis? We should be able to get together. Oh, and by the way, I gotta talk to you guys about this. But anyways, we should be able to get together. And I'm like, Derek, get on stage and give us your outlook for Bitcoin. And it's not your opinion. It's the sum of your research. As far as you're concerned, it's fact. It's a scenario. Well, based on a mild recession in the United States in the first half of 2023, my outlook for Bitcoin is this. And because it's a mild recession, you're having sort of a base case scenario, not a best case scenario, not a worst case scenario, a base case, and then you roll it up. And we can all track you. Okay. All right. I want to ask you something, your level of interest. I like to test the waters. I want to see how I can help in different ways. I've contacted 2 cruise lines. I think I want to do a conference on a cruise ship. I want us to get on a cruise ship for, let's say, 3 days. Huh? We do a 3-day cruise, 4-day cruise, depending on where in the world we are. And it's sort of like a conference center because they have conference rooms. We get the conference rooms. We get some breakout rooms. We do a private dinner. We do a private cocktail session. Meanwhile, we get to enjoy the other sort of benefits of being on a cruise line. Okay? Where we're focused, but then We could just walk somewhere and have dinner. You know what I mean? My first thought here, and I plan on having a conversation in the next few days with one of these cruise lines, but we get a small group together. I think about 5 people have said that they want to form an offshore company, so this would be American focus, but just bear with me here. You fly to Miami, okay? You get shuttled off to the boat. You get on the boat. We have a cocktail party. And you get to meet the other people. Then there's some training on the hedge fund industry, hedge fund strategies, the difference between hedge fund structures, and some basic stuff like that. This way you can write the whole thing off in your taxes. Okay? Then we arrive in the Bahamas, and everyone else on the ship goes snorkeling or goes into town to buy giant fluorescent green cups full of margaritas, and they look like a bunch of idiots. Meanwhile, we skip all of that. We go straight to the Grey Cliff Hotel, and we have attorneys waiting to start the process of setting up your offshore account, setting up your Caribbean bank accounts or Swiss bank accounts. And we have a fabulous lunch. We roll some cigars. I do some more training. Then we go back to the ship for dinner and another cocktail event and another mixer. And on the way back the next day, I do some training on, again, more professional focused stuff like, let's say, disclosure documents and sort of the legal paperwork of being a hedge fund and you know, becoming a professional money manager. And I do more training like that. And then you get home and everything's already in place. The lawyers are already working. They're already setting everything up. You've got training. And let me tell you, compared to me doing this at a hotel, I can do it for, I think, I haven't talked to the cruise lines, but I bet you I can get the cost down by 50%, at least for the idea of the hotels and the food. Because remember, I can negotiate the room prices and the food prices and the drink prices. Now, I've you know, back in my days when I worked at the nonprofit group, and I worked there for 3 or 4 years, we held conferences nationwide. We must have probably about 15 times a year. We negotiated with hotels for conferences all over the United States. And I can tell you, it's very expensive. So the idea that I had of doing something in Nashville, I do want to do it, but I realized very quickly it's going to be very expensive. And apparently I can get us sort of a similar experience where we never have to leave. We never have to have buses to all go to a private dinner at a restaurant and all that kind of stuff. It's all there. I can get a similar experience, but be able to drop the cost by 50%. I think is how I'm going to be able to do it. So therefore, you know, it's quite affordable. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, because we're on the ship, the whole time we get to spend together. And then if I say, okay, everyone piss off for dinner and come back in 90 minutes back to this room, we can all go off to dinner. We could have dinner together, but they're in one night. But maybe if there was lunch, like, all right, everybody piss off and go eat lunch, but be back here in 90 minutes. Everybody can go in their cliques, and you get groups of 5 or 10, and off you go here, off you go there. Some want casual, some want fancy, some want buffet, and you go off and you come back. But you know, you're not driving places and stuff. You know, like anyway. So I'm super excited about that. Okay. And no Wolf of Wall Street stuff. But I'd love to do some amazing group work. So imagine on the cruise ship, we were structuring your elevator pitch, your sales pitch. Maybe we spend a few hours looking at performance of other macro fund managers, and you can see their one pagers that describe their performance in their fund, and not a full prospectus, but we start looking at things, and I think we could have an epic time. Okay. So what's your thought process on that? Does that sound awesome? Now, Burns says, sell me this pen. It'd be more like, why should I invest in you and not real estate? Why should I invest in you and not like a proper hedge fund? Well, first of all, you'd have to know the pros and cons, but you're like, what do you mean by a proper hedge fund? Well, I don't think you'd actually be set up as a proper hedge fund. There are different ways to organize your Forex, your Forex firm. Is it a CPO? Is it a CTA? Where's the fund domiciled? But if you're the manager, where's your management company domiciled? And so it's more like that kind of stuff, right? Is the Bahamas need extra visa for EU citizen? I don't think anybody needs right. I don't think anybody needs a visa to get in the Bahamas. Yeah, we would check all that, but no. I mean, you should. It's amazing where there's like a parking lot of cruise ships. Darko, there's a parking lot of cruise ships. Imagine that in port, there's 9 cruise ships. So there's 50,000 tourists all trying to get their margaritas in a giant fluorescent pink cup that's 1 meter long. And they're trying to get Bart Simpson t-shirts that say, some Bahamian thing. There's also a hotel that's probably twice the size of the average Las Vegas casino on this island. Like, the whole thing is designed to let anybody onto the island from anywhere in the world as long as they spend money. It's amazing. Now, the place we're going to go for the day is a tiny little boutique hotel that's is amazing. It's old. It's probably, well, it's the oldest hotel on the island for sure. It was at one point used as a prison by the British Navy for pirates. Okay. But anyway, so I thought it'd be interesting to get off the boat and have a wonderful lunch, roll some cigars together, have a really good experience. But meanwhile, you sit down for 20 minutes with an attorney. You start the process. You retain the attorney. They start the paperwork. They gather some information. They can copy your passport and all that kind of stuff, and start the process for you. And a month later, you have an offshore company. A month after that, or maybe 3 weeks after that, you have an offshore bank account, and then you can start the legal process of your first board meeting, where you elect to open up a trading account, right? So maybe you open up a trade account in London and that kind of stuff, and you get all that set up. Or maybe if your bank account's in Switzerland, maybe you want to use a Swiss broker and you set all that up. But the attorneys can do that for you, and it's not a problem. Not a problem. Okay. And meanwhile, you're also getting education on exactly that while we're there. So that's the thought process. Okay. Okay. All right. So going back to this, I'll moveon.com. If you're a bull, I wouldn't buy that if I was me. If I was a bear, I'm looking for evidence of this. Hope says, yeah, do that. Yeah, well, the thing is, the legal stuff I've done before, not necessarily offshore, as like I was thinking of my experience as a venture capitalist, but doing a fundraising boot camp. Yeah, I used to do them actually for my clients in the Silicon Valley, and it was VC focused. So there, but as far as going line by line through a term sheet. Yeah. Going line by line through a DDoc. Yeah. Analyzing the performance of various other hedge funds that are going to be very, very similar to yours. Yeah, we can go through that. So you know what your potential clients are looking at from other traders like you. Like just going through all that and what could be put on the website and what do you, I want to do things like practice. The reason I want to do cocktail parties is we actually practice mingling and talking about our Forex fund. Because, if I met Derek at a cocktail party, I'm like, hey man, what's up? And you're like, oh yeah, right? And I'm just like, hey, Derek, hey, my name's Wayne. And he's like, oh, my name's Derek. What do you do? Oh, well, I'm a currency trader. Oh, really? It's almost always what you're going to get. Derek says, oh, really? Good. Go. You have to be able to say something. There are things you legally can't say, but there are things that you can say. Okay, so that kind of stuff. Really get developing your elevator pitch, developing a basic sales pitch, developing your slide deck, your one-pagers. There's a lot we could really, really do, and I think it'd be, awesome. Awesome. Okay. Whoa. Oh, looks like we got the EIA inventory, huh? EIA out. EIEIO. Okay. Let's take a look at that, see what's up. Yesterday. Wow, 200%. What's up with that? So you'll have to get the inventory. I don't want to zip through here. Another way you can get this is probably get some analysis in here. Wait, no, it's Thursday. Oh, no wonder I couldn't find it. Sorry about that. Boom. So how many people would do a 3 or 4 day Caribbean trip? Forex focused. Whether it's hedge fund focused, like setting up your hedge fund, or let's say it's just some sort of fundamental boot camp or technical boot camp or just trading boot camp. But the idea is we spend 4 days, all Forex traders doing Forex and writing it off in our taxes. Usman, if you're charging a fee on top of your 8%, and that's not good. No. Let's do the cruise and mate, maybe. Where can you get the commitment to traders report? You can go here. Yesterday, my troubles seem so far away. Here it is, right here. Okay. There it is. Now, I have a different version. Oh, let me change my Google account. Yesterday. Hey, I used to download the CSV. Yeah, for sure. Okay, I go here. Here's the commitment of traders report. Here are the long and short positions of the assets. Here's the change. Okay. And a visual representation. Okay. Here they are organized by baskets, risk on, risk off baskets. Here's oils, metals. It's all there. I cover silver in there, SPX, NASI, platinum. It's all in here, son. Okay, changes long, changes short. Okay, so I'm going to send out an email to the retail the retail subscribers. I'm not going to announce the changes that are coming, but they're amazing. The retail subscribers are going to get amazing upgrades through their account. So I'm going to send an email to those that have tried it and then dumped it. They're like, nah, I don't like it. I'm going to send you an email, and it's your last chance to sign up at a good price. Right? All deals may be off once I send out the upgrades, and now you want it. Okay. So, anyways, if you used to be a subscriber of the super secret fundamentally based alert service, I'll give you one more chance to get on board before, you know what I mean? Before it will knock your socks off. But you got to be an early adopter. Okay, so anywho, oil, right? Oil's coming down hard today. Okay, very interesting. And let's see what happened. What do you mean by zoom in? Let me know, Bernd. So anyways, check this out. what happened in oil? That's enough, you know. Somebody sold it at 75 in a downtrend. Seasonality. Do I still have? Seasonality is right there. I can't make it bigger while I'm in the, right? But you see? It's all part of the analysis. Oh, look, sell oil. Really? Yeah. So you sold it, right? Yeah, well, I suppose, Bern, it depends on the resolution of your monitor as well, right? Okay. So these are tiny. So yeah, so you find these difficult to read. You probably zoom in even more this way. Yeah, I guess not. How funny is that? Well, the solution is already done. So I have an announcement coming out probably at the very beginning of the new year. Right? I have an announcement coming out very, very soon that makes, if that's a problem, that problem's gone. So I've already solved that. If that's considered a problem, it's already done. Actually, I forgot to, where'd it go? No, quant bug. Oh, yeah, here we go. You probably just zoom in, right? That's better. Anyways, yeah, I gotcha. It's already done. I got something amazing that you're going to find, right? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, you zoom in and it works. Great. Sweet. So anyways, isn't that nice? You knew yesterday and the day before that you're a bear on oil, and so you sold it off to 21. That's exactly how my super secret, fundamentally based alert service works. Do you understand? It's okay. It's not the 6 or 7 things it says you should look at for buying and selling. It's the 20 other things it tells you not to buy or sell. That's most important. Okay. Jim, at some point the answer is likely to be yes. Okay, just not now. Okay? But probably. Almost certainly. Cool. How many people just like that idea where an algorithm gathers information like seasonality, like technical analysis, like GDP, right? Like the job, like, the employment situation, and gathers all this information, and then the AI compares it to other assets all around the world, and it says, hey, bro, maybe you should take a look at oil for selling opportunities. Remember, it includes seasonality and technical analysis. It includes commitment of traders report. Like, think of it. It includes all of that. It's thinking about it. As much as a computer can think. You might not be analyzing this every week, but it never stops working for you. It always knows the interest rate. It always knows the inflation rate. It always knows these things. It always looks at seasonality, never mixes them up, never misses a date. It always does technical analysis. And it says, hey, bro, you should probably take a look at selling this. You walk in, you're like, yeah, I think I'll sell it off the 4-hour 21. Why? That's as basic of trading as it gets. Well, Bern, that's news. That's not fundamentals. I don't give a crap about news events. News events are meaningless. Volatility. What you want to look at fundamentally is the trend in the events, right? So NFP. I don't give a crap about NFP. It's just volatility. What about the trend in non-farm payrolls? Okay? And more importantly, the trend in non-farm payrolls, which is a USA report, compared to euro, compared to pound, compared to yen, compared to Switzerland, compared to Canada, compared to, where am I now? New Zealand, compared to Australia. You see it? The trend in non-farm payrolls compared to the employment situation and the trend in the employment situation in Europe, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here. So now you got to track their, right, employment. So I'll just put jobs. You have to compare and contrast and never, ever, ever, ever miss a job report in any economy ever. But then you got to do like, well, what about GDP, which is growth? Is the USA expanding or contracting? Well, compared to, right? So you get a number for that, but then you have to gather that intelligence for euro, for pound, for yen, for Swissy, and compare and contrast them to each other. But what about gold? What about oil? What about S&P500? What about the 10-year Tino? What about the DAX? What about the Nikkei? What about the FTSE? What about the... Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And you got to you can never miss any of these events. And then you have to compare and contrast them. And then once you have that information, well, what about the seasonal cycle? What about the seasonality here and here and here and seasonality here and seasonality here, seasonality here and seasonality here, and compare and contrast them? So what's the seasonality of euro dollar? What's the seasonality of euro pound? What's the seasonality of euro yen? What's the seasonality of euro Swissy? What's the seasonality of euro cat? What's the and then what's this one and this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one? Oh, but don't forget about technical analysis. well, is euro dollar going to go up and is it expected to? And what about euro pound? And what about euro yen? And what about euro down? And what about this? And what about it? And it's crazy. There's no way you're doing all of that. It's absolutely impossible. But shouldn't you? Yeah, but I've already done that for you. It's right here. Oops. Try it. Try it. It's less than $8. You can try it. Okay? Like if you're not doing that, it's amateur hour, isn't it? Amateur hour. Why'd you do that? Oh, the MACD told me to. Okay? The MACD told you to. Oh. Well, when you look at interest rates and jobs and inflation and GDP and the technical trend and the fundamental seasonality and retail positioning and institutional positioning, you get a score of -4. Explains it here in English. U.S. oil currently has a score of -4, or a sell rating after adding up all the categories. First, let's look at what institutional traders are buying and selling. We can see that institutions are 82.17% long and 17.83% short. This category receives a COT score of +1. Taking a look at seasonality, we get a score of -1. What this tells us is based on historical data, this market tends to fall during this month. Trend reading is based on the daily chart using the 5, 8, and 21 exponential moving averages. The more aligned they are, the stronger the trend is up or down. In this case, we have a score of -2. Finally, let's look at fundamentals. The index saw higher GDP growth, inflation was higher than previously reported, and unemployment was unchanged this month. And interest rates are lower than last time. Receives a score of -4. Here's the retail position. Here's the institution position. Here's all the fundamental data. Here's the seasonality. Here's the news chart for oil. There's the score. There's the recommendation. Sell it. And what? This is your trading, and this is what it should be. Oh, yeah, I think I'll sell it off the 21. Yeah, you sold it off to 21. Good job, bro. Good job. Okay. Okay. Remember, I put one mini lot on this right here. No, that's not true. I put one mini lot on here, which is $100 margin. I exited here for a $750 profit. True story. Sold it on Sunday night, actually. Sold it on Sunday night. And by Tuesday, actually, I was out here. You see, I even have the line there. On Tuesday, I was out. Okay? On a mini lot. It's a true story. Okay? On a mini lot. Account history. There it is. Sold one mini lot, WTI. Sold at 81.50. Okay, sold it at 81.50. Took profit at $71.48. Oh, I sold it lower than I thought. Oops, my bad. Okay, for $750 on a mini lot. Well, how did I figure that out? How did I figure that out? Oh, it's complicated, dude. I can't quite explain it. I looked at 29 different things and compared and contrast 29 things to 29 things. What's 29 squared? Huh? How did I come up with that idea? Oh, I looked at everything in the world. I looked at everything. I looked at this, that, the other thing. How's this going? How's that going? How does it typically go? And that's it. I looked at everything. Boom. Ba-ding, bada-boom, bada-dung, ba-da-dee, ba-dee-dee. Okay. So anyways, that's what you do. Hope. There it is. Oh, hang on. Hope. For example, let's look at here. Okay, hope. See this? Right now, yields are rising on the 10-year T-note, up 1.85%. The USD CAD has fallen the most by about 0.5%. So the worst performing asset is USD CAD right now. The best performing asset is the yield on the 10-year T-note, or NASDAQ rallying, or S&P 500. The thing is, this was updated at 11:05 and 6 seconds. What time is it now? 11:05. It was updated seconds ago. Seconds. Seconds ago, Hope. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. Huh. So in 7 days, we might be at $66 on oil. Oh, well, that would be nice to know. Anyways, if you find that might be a positive influence on your trading, pay the money. It's not very expensive. Okay? One trade paid for the year. Anywho, whatever. I didn't mean to make that into a pitch, but whatever, dude. It's amazing. So pay the money. I don't know. What else is there to say? So I will officially launch that soon, very, very soon. I'll be working on that today, although I got a bunch of other things. Why do I keep so busy? It's stupid. But anyways, I appreciate you. You're good people. I want you to succeed. I want you to succeed. I want us to hang out. I want to train you on new things, and I want to write books. I want to hang out. I want to do whatever it takes. Literally, I want to do whatever it takes to make you a success. Once you understand, maybe that's why I want to write a book on meditation. Us working together is important to me. It's important to my psyche. It's important to my soul. It really is. And I don't know if you get that, but I thought if I can put together my book on trader psychology, I think that's going to come out. It'll be self-evident, or maybe I'll even explain if I can find the words for it. But coaching and training and giving back is important. It truly is. And I assume at one point you'll be in a similar situation, whether it's explaining things to clients or to family members, or helping me in some of my endeavors. Giving back is very important. It truly is. So I look forward to hearing all your success stories in person. Maybe we'll have a cocktail in our hand and we'll be smiling ear to ear. that would be great. I look forward to it. So peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. And members of my live group at FX Bootcamp, we will be meeting today at 4 p.m. So whether you're a day trader or a swing trader, I will see you at 4 p.m. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Cheers.